I want to say thank you to all of you who are here. I want to say good evening. My name is Dawn Thompson. If this is your first time to the Truth Tribe, welcome. I am so grateful for your presence. And if you are a veteran who's been here a long time with me and from day one, I want to thank you as well. I'm truly grateful for all of your presence. I want you all to know also that I love you from the core of my being, and that if there's something I always want everybody to know about themselves is that you're all perfect, exactly the way you are in this space right now, in this now space every day. That's who you are. It's exactly perfect. And I want you to know that, because we question ourselves with all the things going on in the world and we get lost externally. And I'm hoping tonight we can get a little bit more internal of understanding what the external is opening us up to. It's kind of exciting. Well, it's actually like, it's probably my favorite class, only because of, I'm going to show you guys a little bit of what Dawn sees. So we're going to start with the planetary update just because it's a big, powerful week, you guys. So there is a super moon. It is on Thursday, the 10th of this week. So it's on Thursday, the 10th. And this super moon, it is a solar eclipse. It is at 19 degrees of Gemini. So if you know your chart, go check your chart and go see where Gemini sits in your chart. If you can look at your chart, and that house will be a little bit more impacted than the other houses. It doesn't mean other things won't be, but just know that that will be a little bit heavier of influence. Okay. Then let's add to it that Mercury retrograde is still in play till the 22nd. So we've got about another week and a half-ish going on of Mercury retrograde, and it is also in Gemini. Okay. Then, yes, it's going to pop up and it's going to look over everything, and it's going to keep questioning everything, and it's saying, yes, I'm still here. Let's review. Let's look over it and then release it instantly. That's what Mercury's wanting us to do. It doesn't want to linger over this stuff, but stuff from the past is going to pop up from it. And then we look at all this energy sitting in Gemini. You got the North Node, you're going to have the moon, you're going to have the sun, you're going to have this solar eclipse taking place. And what happens is when this goes down, Gemini is the sign of the twins, okay, which let's just give it a symbol of 2. And so if you've got the symbol of 2, it's also the sign of communication, learning, teaching, information, okay? And so when you have a new moon, this is a new moon solar eclipse, not a lunar eclipse, solar eclipse. And the new moon eclipses are always, new moons are always about new beginnings, okay? Starting new projects. And then think about an eclipse, it just delivers like the final bang. It's like the quantum leap of shifting fast. So it's something you start new, and it's a quantum fast shift into something up, up into how you're going to open up, and are you ready, and are you to wipe the whiteboard clean in your mind of information and thinking and communicating and all that kind of stuff that you've been dealing with all this Mercury retrograde crap. And it's going to like literally flip the board and flip it around and wipe it clean. Okay. So the question with this eclipse, this new moon, this Mercury retrograde, this Gemini energy about communication is, do you want to write a new story and the vision of the destination for infinite possibility? Do you want to write a new vision, a new story for your life? That's what I want you guys to kind of work through is, do you really want that? And what is infinitely possible for you to create? Okay. And the reason I say that is because your self-talk right now is going to be more crucial, because communication. So not just communication out there, you guys, but communication in here, like communication to yourself, right? What does your self-talk sound like? Right? I call your ego shadow beast. So is your shadow beast ego holding loads of programmed conversations from the past? Remember, you think about it. Remember when they said that, you know how they said it, you know what they meant. I know they meant that. And then they said that so-and-so, and this shit's going on over and over. And it's just mulling in your heads, right? It no longer feeds your highest nutritional level. You have to think that way. It no longer serves you. It is your opportunity to wipe out all of your restricting stories from the past and then restart your vision at the highest nutritional level. What feeds you? Do your beliefs feed you miracle grow, or do they cause you to die like a weed? Think about it. Okay. So that's what this Gemini energy is doing. You're probably already feeling it. All right. And so when you start catching any negative self-talk in your mind, right, or language from your beast, I want you to start asking yourself, I want you to ask you the question that we've reviewed probably multiple times. I'm sure I harp on you guys a lot, but what if? Okay. What if I could be wealthy, healthy, lovable, loving? Maybe you're not very loving. Maybe you got to learn to love more, right? Successful, pregnant, right? What if you want to get pregnant and you're not getting pregnant? You got to think past this whole what they told us, right? Maybe you want to be funny. Maybe you want education. Maybe you want to be inspirational. You get the picture. Okay. There are no rules, only expansion from this point forward, if you embrace it. That's what's happening right now. Okay. So Gemini is about choices. Okay. So think of it that way, or options, right? So it's kind of like, is it this or that? Is it up or down? Is it high good or not? Is it awesome or asshole vibe, right? Consciousness. Is it power or is it force? What is it, right? So you're being given an opportunity to use all of you, well, maybe you all haven't heard of it on here, but some of you have, is to use my mantra right now, right? You're being given a window of time to choose suffering or soaring, right? Here's my angel wing right here, right? It's time to choose to lighten up your energy field, body, mind, and spirit. And so you are in a fun and feathers review. Just remember my mantra is fun and feathers. And so if you aren't light enough, it's going to be difficult to see the fun in this life, to thrive, to be bigger. So fun and feathers are your litmus test for the next couple of months, because this solar eclipse that's going to expand out in Gemini will last about 6 months of energy. It'll cycle. So I want you guys to be very clear. Is this fun and is this light? Fun and feathers. Okay. And so what was so fascinating is that this energy is going on in the sky. Then I go and meditate and I do this meditation and I'm like, okay, guys, I asked my guides, I'm like, what is our highest good for us to kind of start applying right now and see? And it was just, I always laugh because like I said, it's kind of like they're being sarcastic to me. And so the message was not surprising that they were showing me two ways of life, right? The old boxes, and they were dark, and then infinite highways. Kind of like when I take you on the grid, if I've taken you on a meditation, boxed in dark or expanded out in rainbows. Those were the two options. You are moving out of surviving lack, survival mode, and lack mode, and less mode, and is it just not enough mode, right? To thriving in pots of gold. Now everyone's like, no, we're not really. We really are. The crashing of the old boxes, shall I call them, opened a path to the new. And we are all choosing new ramps of abundance to get on new highways, knowingly or unknowingly, you're going. So you guys aren't getting off this road. You're not getting off this highway, whether you want to or not, you guys are not getting off. Okay, so you can come gently or you can come miserable. Totally up to you. But I guarantee you're going to be left on the side of the highway at the rest stop if you're being, a negative pansy. Guaranteed, right? So thriving is being replaced by thriving. And most people are kind of like, well, yeah, that's all well and good done, but how do you do that, right? So I was reflecting on how to describe what is happening on the planet. Remember, this is the planet, and we are like the grid lines of longitude, latitude. These grid lines run around it, and they expand out into the universe, so it's all connected, right? And so how do I explain an entire planet that runs right down into your energy grid in your world in the simplest picture? And so I sat with it for a little bit, and I thought it was easiest for me to show you guys what my eyes see and what I have seen my whole life. Like, how does the world look through my eyes? And maybe that'll help you guys address, okay? So adjusting to this is kind of a different mindset if you've been in the other mindsets, right? And so when I say, and I've told you guys this many times, right, that I didn't fit in my whole life. And people are like, what? Really? I got along with people. People love me, but I didn't fit in. And it's not that I didn't want to fit in, but I also never had a truth filter. And you probably all get that, right? And so if I didn't feel the vibration that we're sitting in right now, if I didn't feel, it didn't feel truthful to me wherever I was, the conversation, what they told me, what was right or wrong, I didn't participate in it. And that's something that we aren't taught to do, right? And so I would just go look elsewhere for something else to do. I didn't linger. I wasn't one of those people who sat, I would give up. I would put up with people's stuff that I could fix easily, but I still just didn't linger. And that belief system was a bit out of time. It was in the wrong time and space, right? But the cool part is now you're all being given a gift, the gift of Dawn's eyes, okay? To wake up and understand that you have been programmed for thousands, I mean, probably 50,000 years or more, okay? So this isn't new stuff. To survive and not to thrive. I'm gonna have you think about this little bit of a thought pattern as you go for a while, okay? Go through this class and go, think about it. You've been programmed to just get along, to just get by and not thrive. And if you are in survival mode, get ready. You are all controllable. You are all thriving and you're trying to thrive and you're like, but I'm not. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because if you're thriving, you're in power and you are untouchable. Totally different ball game. That's what gets to me, is because for the last 100 years specifically, we have been raising our vibration on the planet. So these vibrational grids are getting higher and vibrating a stronger blueprint and a stronger energy, and we're all becoming connected. And so, as I've told you, technology ruined us, but it also empowered us to connect more to raise the vibration. So it's both yin and yang. Okay, so for our vibration going up, we've been raising our vibration and it's up, trying to get us up to our original DNA that knows how to thrive, that knows how to love, that knows how to manifest, that knows how to live in joy. Not just survive, you guys, not just get by. And with each day, every one of us, all of you, especially on this call, each day we make another person like wake up, or we share, and our grid creates a bigger planet with bigger vibration, higher consciousness to thrive, and we end survival mode. That's what's happening right now. It's been happening for a while. It's been hard for everybody because they had a hard time letting go of boxes that, through my eyes, I was like, this is bullshit from day one. Schools, medicine, education, or government, all of it. It's science, all of those things. Now, all together, if they were teamed up, it'd be a different ballgame, but they're not yet. They will, okay? So when you say you want more, I want more, Dawn, from now on, okay? It's gonna have to come from that electrical current I keep having you tap, from your heart, not from the program sent from your brain, because the brain has programs that said, we're just going to survive. We're just going to get by. We're going to get there. And it's BS. It's total BS. Okay. So when you hear yourself say, I want abundance, right? It's going to have to come from the truth in your soul's blueprint and not from the truth of your programmed ancestry. This isn't easy stuff, because when you wrap your brain around that, you're like, okay, wait, what? So some of the stuff might be beautiful and glorious, but most of it is survival mode. And when you say you want more, you're going to have to come from this gut intuitive feeling of knowingness in your soul of what is true for you. And it may not fit into anything you've ever known or everything you've learned your entire life. It may not fit there anymore because your truth in your gut knows better. So abundance is on the other side of survival in your mind. Thriving in your heart is what overrides all this. And most people are like, well, I know what I wish for in my heart, Dawn, but it just doesn't work. BS. Okay. Guys, if I wasn't, I personally am not living in my truth. Okay. If I'm not showing all of you this picture, okay, I have to show you what I see in the simplest terms, because it looks so messy out there, yet it's the most beautiful, harmonic, glorious awakening you could ever embrace. No one could have made this up. It's beautiful, right? So I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to just alert you to your truth, right? And help you filter out anything that isn't joy, that isn't thriving. right? And so it's like I'm showing you basically like where the cracks are in your egg, okay? You must be the one to push through and get out of the box. The boxes or the rainbows of the highways, right? You must be the one to become self-aware of your maybe generations of bullshit, that you can cut them now, wipe that whiteboard clean in your mind. Physical, mental, spiritual lack that you can look at it and you can see it, that you've been playing for ages. Okay. I want you to think of it this way, because I try to teach this to all my private clients. Source, God, does not care where you are or what choices you make. It doesn't. God doesn't care about that. God cares about your personal truth and the contract that you made with Source coming down here to complete. And all of you living right now have a contract to complete, to ascend the earth, to make ascension and rise up and raise consciousness on the earth. That's what your contract is in some form. Okay. You made a contract to be here at this time in history, to stop suffering and start thriving. Hard to believe, right? So what is the very specific contract? It's all specific to you. It's all specifically for you, how you came in and what you came to program. Only you can complete it. Stop placating those external wizards telling you no, and you can't, and it's not for you, and it's never going to happen, and oh, you're doomed. I'm telling you, they're gone. They're going. They're on their way out. So you've got to wake up and go, oh my God, right? Who am I? What the hell do I want? If you haven't already from all these Truth Tribe calls, right? So it's time to see truth in your energy field and feel the energy, feel the experience, and avoid placating to labels and titles and bullies and TV wizard programming in constant survival mode. It's time to ask, how can you thrive and do not negotiate? When you're looking back there and you're like, oh, here it comes. It's not coming back to you. It's asking you a question. So do not attend the negative, pessimistic parties that you're starting to watch unravel right anymore. That is what your goal is right now. If it's fun and feathers, it will not participate in those parties. And don't accept less than the answers to your vision. I want this, and they keep saying no. God says, is this your truth? And you go, well, yeah, it is. Then you keep going on that highway. Does your energy feel heavy and it's not your truth? Then make a different choice and take a ride on the highway, right? But you must step into your truth, because it has always been programmed into this DNA to thrive, always. Okay? We have habitually gotten attached to painful experiences that are safe and that are not where we thrive. And people are like, that shit is not safe. It's totally safe. When you're used to something, it's called habituation. You get so used to it, even if it's a crappy environment, you have no idea it's happening anymore because you get habituated to it. So here's a question for all of you. How many of you hold back and I've had this conversation a couple of times in the last few days, and it's fascinating to me. How many of you hold back your joy and your success in certain company because you know that they will not be happy for you or override it with their pessimism? You guys feel that? Right? Have you ever felt bad that all your hard work is paying off and others are jealous, so you hold back expressing your joy, and you're like, oh my God, I did it. But you don't want to tell them because they're just going to go like, oh, well, let me tell you what I did. And it's not they want to focus on them, right? So it fascinates me when I have these conversations and they all just trickle into that same consciousness state. And I was visiting with some friends this weekend recently, and we were discussing why I've never liked TV, right? Because it's always been about surviving, right? Think about it. There's a show called Survivor, and they were telling me about Naked and Afraid and killing movies and murder and lottery. I hope they'll win the lottery so I have a better life, because I'm suffering and I'm a victim and I'm never going to be able to do it on my own. Think of it that way. All the programs are around suffering. And then now We've even gotten extra special. We sprinkle ongoing pharma commercials asking you all the show, all the whole time, if you're suffering too, just like the people in the show. We can help you with that. It's never ending. And I disliked it as a kid, and I could feel the despair in everything. It was so heavy and so muted and so lagging. It's like it was molasses, quicksand. And so then I always wondered why there weren't any thriving entertainment or any thriving news. Because would you pick that? Why is there no free programs on power, the top part of the consciousness scale, right? Versus force, heavy, anger, pride, despair, fear, apathy, shaming people, guilting people, humiliating people, scorning people, hating people. That's what's on public programming. It's called programming for a reason, okay? I'm not going down that path because I don't care. What I'm trying to show you is it fascinated me my whole life. There's the question. That no one asks this question, you guys. You ever wonder that? No one wants to know why everything has to be so negative, controlled, censored, debated, and within these restrictions of surviving. Why is it all destruction and despair? Have you ever thought about that? Why do we discuss what we hate and not what we love? Surviving, you guys, is programmed suffering of lack. It is programmed in you. There was this science experiment they were doing in the chicken, where they would feed the chicken a piece of corn and they would give it the pink square. Then they would put a blue and a red square over, and they wouldn't give it any times. They'd put there, and it'd go back to the pink square. Then they'd feed it every time the pink square would pop up. They'd feed it, but it'd step on the blue square, and then no, and it'd go back to the pink, even if it didn't get fed, because it knew every time it got to the pink, it would get fed. And the pink and the yellow and the blue square were all exactly the same. There were nothing different, but we didn't know we could thrive unless we only picked what was programmed to pick pink to get the food. I want you guys to wake up that there is, if you didn't know there was another way, if you didn't realize there was another option, we're going to pick lack and suffering and surviving mode. That's just the programming. None of you knew better. But through my eyes, I'm asking you to open your eyes and see that there is better. Well, now she's just not telling me there's better. I know there's better. And what happens is we've all gotten so programmed for so long that, well, this is all there is. That's what they said. I'm doomed, so therefore I am. That's what they said. So I don't want to, but suffer I must. That's how it all comes out. This might be that all you've learned too, maybe many of you. Okay. And so now you know it's not the only way, because Dawn's telling you, many people are trying to tell you, it's time to wake up and thrive. It's time. Thriving is truth awareness now. Is this my truth now? Keep moving. Is it not my truth? Move the hell off. Okay. Someone's saying Pavlov is not my friend. Yes, exactly. We need to be careful with this programming. So guys, when you get answers that dim your light from people, from social, from external, from the wizards, okay? We're just going to call them the external wizards. That, you know, the Wizard of Oz, he was behind the screen. Everybody thought it had all the information. And then they pulled the screen back, like, oh, just some guy that's spouting off whatever he wanted. Same thing, okay? When you get answers that dim your light, I want you to ask yourself from this point forward, is this my greatest truth now, and is it for my highest good? Is this my greatest truth now, and is it for my highest good? If yes, keep walking. If no, am I not free to be me? Does this mean you need to change others to be like you so you can be free to be you? No, not at all. You need to exit the pity party and find a new one that resonates with thriving. I don't care what title the party or the person or the wizard carries. Doctor, lawyer, spouse, BFF, teacher, child. I don't care. Parent. Do not accept surviving, getting by, lack in your life ever again. But you have to command a thriving spirit at all times. You have to command this energy, you guys. You cannot just sit here and go, I hope it shows up. I've been meditating. I've been intentioning. I've put affirmations out there. Those are amazing because energetically it takes one intention and one awareness, but you have to take action to match it. Body, mind, spirit. You can't just do spirit and mind. You got to do body too, take action. So I want you to think of it this way. Your level of surviving right now, okay, or thriving, shall I say, will match surviving or thriving. Thriving, I'm going to call high consciousness, higher consciousness scale, lower consciousness is surviving, will match the frequency that you are at right now. Okay. It's that simple, you guys. So frequency, that's how you're going to match fun and feathers. Is it at a fun and feathers frequency or is it a survival frequency? You're going to pretty much get it immediately. Okay. If you're in a survival frequency, you will get by just with lack for the rest of your life. And that's super okay if that's what you choose, right? Okay. If you're resonating at thriving frequency, your sonar will ping out abundance and expansive experiences. Okay. No matter what the world around you seems like, you can change the dial to thrive instead of survive anytime. And so I keep getting asked this question in this situation, in this environment. And the question is how do I stop being upset with people doing stupid stuff? That's the question all the time. They're doing stupid stuff. How do I not be upset about it? And I thought I brought this up to you guys before, but remember this: hurt people hurt people. Okay. So what we don't let go of in here in our hearts, which is why this heart vibration, this heart resonance, this heart energy counts. What we don't let go of in our heart, we repeat. So are you hurt? Heal it. Heal your hurt. And then you can thrive, or you will only be surviving on that hurt and not bypassing it. So you have to think of it this way: is why are hurt people out there doing stupid things? Because we're so addicted to our ego and our shadow beast of suffering, because it's all we've eaten for a very long time, probably, like I said, thousands of years. That's all generations of programming have programmed into the psyche. So we kind of go, I think I know better, because it's kind of like I kind of remember that there's some power in me. No. And then ego feeds off the cookie it gets from the suffering and pain. Ego goes, thank you. I'm so used to this. Right. So the bigger the event, the bigger the cookie that the ego and the shadow beast get. And the bigger the excuse not to move into light or thriving, because it's too scary. I get it. It may seem scary because all the TV wizards are telling you that. And as soon as the event, let's call it it could be abuse, it could be a breakup, it could be an illness, a near-death experience. I mean, that extreme, an argument, abandonment. But as soon as that's over, I want you to think of it. The second that the moment, the argument, the thing is over, how many of you go back to the iPod of old fucking songs? It's that extreme. And talk about what happened so you can explain your suffering and how you survived and how you still resonate in surviving with each story that you repeat to anchor it into why you can't leave it, because it's so potent. It's why I don't agree with calling cancer, survivors. Or recovered alcoholics, still alcoholics. How about goddamn warriors? Let's call them that. Let's call them what they are. They are warriors, and they are spiritual warriors. I need you guys to hear this. Enough telling people what's wrong with them, and tell them you are a freaking warrior. Ego wants you to feel pain, you guys, so that you have a reason to feel entitled to be suffering and surviving and to be in a better place, because you too are wounded. You're too wounded to do it for yourself. Is this the truth? And is it thriving resonance? Not a chance. But you were programmed to believe that way. You weren't programmed to believe in the warrior spirit and the warrior option. I've been talking on the sidelines, by the way, spiritual warriors coming back. So FYI, those of you who've been asking about it, I'm bringing it back because this has really been bothering me. Looking through my eyes, if it doesn't feel good to you and they say no, say bullshit and move on and find 15 more people till you get the answer yes. This is the very reason why I developed I deserve it coaching. I deserve it is not entitlement. It means in the dictionary to serve. What will you serve yourself? Survival or thriving? I deserve it coaching is to direct you to the highway of what you deserve in here, in this electric grid that goes out into many, many universes. Okay. So I want you guys to start asking yourself some really potent questions. Why am I bringing questions out? Because I want you to discuss this in that whiteboard in your head, all the Gemini energy, right? Is my heart deserving of everything I dream of? And will I thrive in getting it? Ask yourself. Or am I in survival mode of lack programming and my suffering mind, and I feel entitled that others owe me because I'm broken and only others are capable of manifesting more than me? Deserving thriving, survival suffering. I guarantee you which one will make you feel more powerful and free, and which one will make you feel imprisoned. Guys, ego will continue to walk into experiences with you. Ego doesn't leave you ever. It's here to keep you alive. It's here to keep you eating, sleeping, and drinking, those basics. But it kind of got programmed as a little child with extra shit, right? So it's programmed, and it will keep walking you into experiences to get cookies from pain and suffering that you're repeating until you wake up. It's not the pain and suffering that you guys are wishing for. I guarantee you, this is not what's going on, okay? You do not wish for pain and suffering. It's the cookies and the feeding of the ego that you're looking for. Your elders fed this negative egoic cookie as a child, and you knew what cookies kept you safe. So if you did that, if you do these things, if you do what the TV wizards tell you, and I'm talking all the wizards in the world, right? They out there, if you do what they tell you and you give them what they want, which is a negative cookie to ego, we did what they said, cool, and didn't feel good. It's like your little Joey. Do this and then you'll get that. If you do that, then you'll get that. If you eat this, then you'll get that. It tastes disgusting. Why the hell would I eat that? We make them do it anyway. Your shadow beast ego has just become so used. It's so used to eating at the buffet all day long because we have no clue what's going on in here. I'm waking you guys up. I'm trying to tell you everything that does not resonate in your heart and feel good. Tell it to fuck off. Tell it to get the hell out. Tell it no cookie, no feeding, no buffet, no nothing. You guys, you must be on high alert from this point forward. To be on alert to your beast wanting to be fed negative attention to survive. It's time to take back your power. Okay? Prepare yourself for the new expansion this week. This week is so powerful up in the sky, and I'm just saying the sky in the universe at large, okay? It's power. And we're going to make major flips on the planet, major flips in the world that you're looking at, major turns, because the twins is two sides, okay? I'm getting questions coming in here, guys, so I promise I will open them up. So prepare yourself for this these expansive questions this week for the eclipse, okay? I want you to ask yourself these questions. Are you open to infinite possibility? And I mean infinite, like anything's possible. Like, you want a dragon? Is it possible? That's how crazy I want you to go infinite. I know I'm pushing you out there, but do you trust spirit to bring you opportunities beyond your wildest imagination where endless possibilities are available? Okay. Are you ready to stretch past your limits of your everyday perception, this stuff out here, the wizardry crap, and your comfort zone to imagine even greater faith for miracles to shine down on you from the universe? Are you committed to yourself, to your heart, When cynicism shows up in the planet, in your world, in your people, in your community, okay? And when that cynicism shows up and says, no, you can't, I want you to ask yourself, do I trust spirit to remind me to say yes 1,000 times over? Are you willing to entertain new possibilities? That's thriving. Those are thriving questions. Are you limiting your goals in order to be realistic and cutting yourself off from the power of dreaming big? Can you let go of your rigid beliefs? Thousands of years, it's a lot. You're doing a lot of work here, okay? Can you let go of your rigid beliefs of what is possible for you? And let spirit inspire you to open your heart and your eyes to what spirit knows is in your soul and available to you at all times. This is always available. You guys, now is the time to stretch beyond the familiar and open up yourself to what is meant for you beyond all imagination. So I'm going to end this last piece right here with a weekly challenge for you. Okay. And the reason I try to give you some tool, a tangible tool that will help you. And then I will, I promise I will pop into these questions. When someone says, I want a dragon, I'll get you a dragon. That's my husband asking for a dragon. Honey, be careful what you wish for, because that is on the list. All right. So the next question, I'm going to come in and I will bring it in just as soon as we do this challenge. Okay. The weekly challenge for you all right now is to stimulate your spirit molecule, which is called DMT, and it's within your system. It's in the pituitary and the hypothalamus mostly, but when we stimulate the spirit molecule called DMT, I want you to stimulate it yourself and set your intention first for thriving prior to doing it. Now, I'm going to give you a breathing exercise that will stimulate it for you, okay? Y'all have heard of DMT. You can get it through, certain chemical substances. There is DMT out on the, and it's not, again, it's not legal, but I'm just giving you an example of DMT is a hallucinogenic, okay? So what happens is when you have your breathing right, DMT is a naturally occurring chemical within plants, animals, humans, and mammals. And the research shows that it's housed primarily in lung tissue and throughout a variety of enzyme activities and adrenal gland stimulation. So the more you're stimulated, the more it triggers it to be released within the system. I'm not going to get into details. You can go Google DMT. There's books on it. It's beautiful. But it's also natural, and it's in you, and it's spirit. So if you're not connecting to spirit, you're saying, I need to get more connected. So we're going to do this in literally 6 cycles. I'm going to do 3 with you. So we're going to do some breath work. Okay. It's the easiest way to access the spirit molecule DMT over external juices. Now, again, I'm not debating whether external juices work or not. It's just not something I utilize. Okay. So let's do some DMT breathing real quick. It's going to be a count of 10. So I want you to think of your heart here. Okay. Here's the triangle. Here's your heart in the center. And we're going to breathe up for 10, hold it for 10, and release for 10. So you're just going to follow along with me. I'm going to count it. Okay, everybody, take a deep breath in. Hold it. And then release. And again. Hold it. And release. One more time. Inhale. Hold it. And release. That was 3. The more cycles you do, you start to feel lightheaded. You start stimulating all the DMT within your system to feel more peaceful and zen in your body. Breathing in and out. The reason I show you this triangle is your heart. You breathe in the heart, hold it in your heart, and breathe out of the heart. Using your heart space to stimulate the intention you put out there, and then breathing DMT breathing. Okay, so do it again. You're going to do 10, 10, 10. Now I say 60 cycles daily. Be careful if you aren't used to this kind of breathing because it can make you lightheaded. So if you're standing or driving, I'd be patient and do it more at home or when you're sitting or, in bed before you get out of bed, do your 10 cycles, 10, 10, 10 for 6 cycles. Okay. You can do as long as you want. If you want to do it for 6 minutes, that's extra special. That really takes you to a new high. So I'm going to challenge you to DMT breathing. Okay. All right, tonight's tips, and then I'm going to open up to Q&A. I went 5 minutes over. I know I didn't mean to, but let's do this. So tip number 1, ask yourself tonight, am I surviving or thriving in any part of my life? Write it down now. What part? Home, family, career, communication, romance, love, intimacy, money, values, belief systems, doctrines, mental health, spiritual health, physical health. Number 2, what part of your life do you see yourself not thriving and not living your truth and accepting survival mindset? Write it down. Number 4, fun and feathers is your litmus test. Fun and feathers is your litmus test, you guys. So that's how you know if you should attend the party or exit the party, okay? Number 4, DMT breathing. Breathing in and out of your heart. Fill your heart with miracles. I promise we're opening the door. Just hang on and I will get you that dragon. Everybody right here. I am courage. I am love. I am courage. I am love. Okay. Last tip tonight. If you weren't just surviving, what would you do to thrive? What does thriving look like to you? It's a big question that you're going to hold on to for a while. Okay. So go ahead and start showing, throw comments while I start answering these questions on what area you guys see yourself that you've been just surviving and that needs to shift into thriving. Like, where do you catch yourself just surviving, right? Like, oh, I just got to pay the bills. Oh, I just got to get better. Oh, I just got to get through one more class. Oh, I just got to get through one more conversation with my spouse. Oh, that's surviving. That's not thriving. I'll help you see an explanation and expanded mindset if you can just throw them in there. Okay, so let me see. I've got several coming in here. So let's go ahead and start answering Q&A. Let's see. All right, the question came in is, I know the Bible is subjective. This is good. I know the Bible is subjective, but there were many people who suffered for many years because of their faith, who were eventually rewarded for enduring in their faith, i.e. their job. So how do you say suffering is bad when it is happening as a result of our steadfast faith in something? Furthermore, I think our awakening is painful. So in a way, don't we need to suffer a little to get to our desired destination? This is a freaking brilliant question. Thank you very much for asking it. Okay. So what she's saying is what I just tried to share with all of you guys. We've been suffering for 1,000 years. Before the Bible was even written, we allowed ourselves to be enslaved in all colors, in all directions, in all mindsets, in all cultures. There was never a time we were not enslaved or there were slaves. Okay, so we can use the Bible, we can use medicine, we can use TV. That's why I call all of it the wizards, right? We can use it all to tell ourselves, this is what I have to use to be enslaved. Oh, I see. Job, sorry, I thought she said Job. Job is the man who suffered for many years. So the reason I bring this up is because why I don't believe in one specific doctrine. I believe in God. I believe in source energy. And I believe, and I love the Bible. I love Jesus. I love it all. I believe in all the avatars and all the higher beings that walked on the planet. What I want you guys to open up to is a perfect example is, who wrote the Bible? A man. You don't know when. You want to go back, and we hope historians can go back far enough and really break it down, but you don't know. All you know is a lot of people for a long time have suffered in the name of a religion, which means it's been programmed that mine is better than yours, which is bullshit, because God loves everybody. And I don't care what pace you're in. You might be in an abusive relationship. God loves you anyway. Stay. God still loves you. Leave. God still loves you. You may be very unhealthy and God says, find a new way or don't find a new way. I still love you. And so the reason I'm saying this is there's nothing wrong with the Bible if you're looking at it from the source of God's source energy. If you're looking at a career or things and experiencing, Job is saying it's okay for you to suffer, which is the programming. I agree. But who wrote that? I'm not disputing that sometimes pain appears. I'm not disputing that sometimes pain appears to wake you up. It's like sitting on a hot coal and popping back up and going, that burned my ass. And it gets you up. That's a moment. But the problem that we have is that we're suffering over and over and over that moment for thousands of years. So taking the Bible, taking religion, taking anything and using it as your reason for suffering because it told you to suffer is bullshit. And I'm calling bullshit on all that. This is my eyes. Do I call the Bible bullshit? No. Do I call God? I think everything is about divinity and source consciousness. We have to look past it and saying, all right, God consciousness, if you took the Bible out of it, you took Job out of it, you took all the people who suffered for us. They did it to show us don't give up. Jesus did not tell you guys, hey, come and be me. And he suffered on the cross. Jesus said, be Christ-like, which is loving, supportive, heal yourself. You have the power to do what I do. So we have to look at consciousness as a state of resonance. Are you resonating in power state, in thriving state? Because the more of us thriving and saying no to the BS and no, I don't have to suffer and no, I don't have to accept no as an answer, we move up the scale. That is God consciousness, courage, neutrality, reasoning, love, joy, enlightenment. When you look at the consciousness scale, by the way, guys, those of you who do have, it is on my website. Those of you who do have the picture and download it on your picture or your photos, enlightenment and ineffable peace and bliss, those are numbers that most people on this planet will not probably attain in this lifetime, because that was Jesus, that was Buddha. Those were the avatars that ascended into higher consciousness. Can you? Yes. Does it take a lot of work? Yes, because you have to stop listening to the wizards that tell you the Bible says you're bad, the religion says you're bad, the doctor says you're going to die. All this stuff is telling people you're surviving, and you may not survive, but maybe you do survive. And if you do survive, you just survived. You're still surviving. You're not thriving. We have to turn them off and say, I'm going to take God consciousness and put it in source right here, which is in your DNA, which is where you originated from, which is why we are all called omnipresent. Okay. We are all omnipresent. We are all in like energy of source. Does that help with that question that came out? I know that's hard because we want to put something to be the reason why we're supposed to suffer. And I love that question because everyone will find a different way. Money is the reason I have to suffer. Who made money? If you took money out of it today's day and age, if we just did it and we went back to before paper money was made, I'll give you enlightenment and healing tools, and you give me lasagna because I don't like to cook. Equal, paid. I eat, you get enlightened. See how basic that is? It's still money. It's just an exchange of energy. But we put so much energy on the book, on the money, on the paper, all these external wizards telling us, the money wizards, the banking wizards, if you don't do this, you'll never get ahead. They're right. They've made the systems, so you'll never win. Okay? That's where you've been programmed. It's bullshit and you're breaking out of it. So you're going to have to hang in there. Okay. All right. Next question. What does it say? How can we change if all we know is survival? Very similar to this last one. And it's programmed. So we forget that we are infinite beings. Like if it's programmed, okay. Like how do we interrupt the patterns if they are generations deep? This is so awesome and is so simple. This is the Bible, right? How many generations has that Bible gone back? It's old work, okay? Ready? Awareness and choice. I am aware I have been surviving for too long, and I'm going to be the one that cuts the chain on every generation behind me. I choose miracles instead. Brilliant combo of questions, you guys. Okay, next question. How do I deal with messy environments? I'm assuming messy environments means like people. I'm assuming that's what you mean. How do I deal with messy environments and stay thriving? Okay, that's another simple one, you guys. Think about it from this perspective. If it's not fun and feathers, just like I said before, exit the building and respect your space, respect your boundaries, respect your life. Okay? Does that make sense? How do I deal with messy? Your life actually might get kind of boring, might get kind of simple, might get kind of peaceful, might start thriving because you're doing what you want, the miracles you wish for in your heart. My husband laughs right now, but I will be asking for a pet dragon very soon, and a pet unicorn, and a ranch, and a barn. I know he's laughing at me right now, but I'm going for the whole kit and caboodle. Okay, questions. Are you going to have a conference sometimes coming up? Yes, I am working on it. Now I'm going to switch this. I was going to start doing digital, but now that we're all kind of wanting to see face to face, I'm thinking of doing something soon. It probably won't be for a couple months, but I am going to open up the Spiritual Warrior group and start bringing some of these tools because I keep getting asked about them. So I am working on it, guys. I'm also bringing up the app will be soon. I know I've been harping you guys like it's coming, and we've had a lot. It's been a labor of love, but we're super close. Unless you need to plan a plane to get away in person. Oh, people want in person. Yeah, people keep asking in person. I think I might do something in Tucson, maybe Sedona, depending on where I can find an event place. So I think I might do Tucson, but we'll see. Maybe Flagstaff, we'll see. Something close, but still not too close. I want to get if you guys get to get out of town, I want to get out of town, right? So we'll see that. And I might even do something up in Washington again when I'm up there. So let's just, everybody wants Sedona. Okay, so I'll see what I can come up with in Sedona and or Tucson, and we'll go from there. But I'm going to put something together, and we'll, even if we just do a mini retreat and I do a limited entrance. Cool. Okay, so hopefully that answered. Any more questions, you guys, on understanding what happened? We have been surviving, and it's time. Oh, see, everybody's like, I will help you plan. Everybody, okay, I will do it. I know you guys are harassing me to do these live retreats. I did pull back, but we're ready, so we'll do it. I'm going to do it. I will absolutely bring them out to you and unveil them. Any more questions, you guys? I can help you see where you've been just surviving. And you have to kind of look at it from a different perspective. And it can be on any topic. Think about it. Have you been just surviving with your kids? What happens if your kid comes to you soon and says, I don't want to go back to that godforsaken school. It's terrible. They're mean to me. Are you going to believe them? Or are you going to tell them, too bad, you have to go back because it's easier for me, even though you would be thriving and you're telling me how to thrive? What would you do? Would you say, let's find every possibility so it works for both of us and get you out of there and find you another thriving school? Or would you force them there? What if you have a job you don't like? Would you just stay in the job and stay miserable surviving? Or would you add things you could keep adding into your feathers in your hat, so when it was time, you either could jump ship or you could turn yourself into more valuable at that job and move out of it? What are you doing that's holding you into a survival mode because you're not realizing you're doing it? Okay, miracles, science. Okay, very confusing. 30 years ago, though, Roman Catholic, many programs were installed. Yes, the more physics studied, the more commonly questioned. Gaia is amazing. Yeah, Gaia, those of you who don't watch Gaia, I would highly recommend turning on. It will help you with all the stuff I'm teaching you. Everything I'm teaching you is kind of like on steroids at Gaia, okay? It's amazing, but it's also, you know, we can go back. I guess what I'm trying to get you guys to open your minds to is, please don't blame the past. Don't blame the enslavement crew, right? Whoever they may be, the Roman Catholic Church, the people who wrote the Bibles and the doctrines and all the Quran, all of them, you name it. they're all written by some person. That doesn't make them their fault. This is just time of evolution where we have evolved and we have evolved and we've done the work and we've done the work and we've gotten out here. And now all of a sudden we've raised our vibration as a collective. Now the light's so bright that enslavement can't take place anymore because you are all thriving, but we need everyone thriving, not just a few of us, not just a few lighthouses. So my question is if you're still on the fence, it's time to switch and turn back into, I'm going to thriving, and it doesn't matter who told me. It's not anyone's fault. It's your choice right now. I choose to be aware that I've been surviving and I'm now going to thrive. What does that take? That's a big question. Write it down, especially on the new moon this week. It's why I'm bringing it up, especially on the new moon. Okay. Advice for the week and the second eclipse. That is my advice for this week. Write down all the spots in your life. If you have to, go look at the winning wheel on the website. Okay. Go look at the winning wheel, and I want you to say, okay, self-worth, money, values, communication, home and family, children, fun, romance, health, partnerships, intimacy, beliefs, higher learning, career, public, mental health, spirituality. Where am I just surviving and getting by? I want you to write it down. And for this eclipse, the new moon, I want you to write it down and say, I choose to thrive. And I want you to just write one thing you're going to do every day to start thriving in that department. Why? Because if you don't even know you're not doing it, you will catch yourself. I've told you guys, I've had to work very hard at having fun. Why? Because I used to just be a workaholic. This is the stuff I would write and develop, and I wasn't having any fun. And I'm like, well, this doesn't balance. So as crazy as that sounds, as the fun aspect of life, my husband is very good at harassing me to have fun, and I love him for that. So you're going to have to find the area where you're just getting by and you're not really thriving. I'm thriving in areas, but struggling with thriving in all areas at the same time. It's because we've been told we're not supposed to. This is a brilliant answer, brilliant question, brilliant comment. I think I'm only allowed to have one because they told me you can't have it all. Bullshit. You can have it all, but you have to be the one that makes the decision and works on it. Those of you who have done my my class on your hotspot charts and your karma, your karmic medicine, the karmic medicine wheel. It shows you the 4 areas of your life you're always going to be challenged in. Now, if you keep avoiding, go, but I'm not good there, totally your fucking fault. It is. It's always my fault. My husband will attest this. I will come and I'm like, I suck here. I'm terrible at this. Force me. And then he goes, you won't listen to me, but I do. As much as he thinks I don't. I listen because I need to tell him I'm doing this. I'm not doing a good job. Please. And he says, no, I see you doing a good job, but I think it has to be so catapulted because it's hard for me. So all of you saying, I'm not far enough in my career. I'm not far enough in my money. I'm not far enough in my spirituality. As long as you're doing one thing every day, you are doing it and you will have it all. Because once this window opens for everybody and they start seeing that thriving is an option for everyone and we're all going to get an equal, even playing field, watch what happens in the next 12 to 24 months. It's going like this, guys. It's not imploding more. It just looks like that because the TV wizards are only showing you survival bullshit. Okay, so if you're doing a little dose every day for the things that are hard for you, I guarantee you when the door opens, you're gonna be like, I'm so ready. And you had no idea you prepped yourself. Cool? All right. Awesome. All right, I have one more question coming in, then we're gonna close this off. This is a comment just saying, I have rocked someone's life and challenging them through this journey, and they are saying I am blessed. Well, I'm blessed because you've been in my life. I'm blessed for all of you to be in my life and stick with me through this entire journey and everything that we've been dealing with. I love you guys so much, and I again pour pink hearts on you all day, every day in the mornings, and so it's spraying you guys with love. Just put your hands out, grab them, and then turn those hearts into magic and miracles, and I promise they're going to show up. Okay, so We are at the end of our call. I wish you all the brightest blessings. I want you guys to remember that you are here to open the door. Remember that solar eclipse, new moon is on Thursday. So please write these intentions down, okay? And burn them. Let them go and trust that spirit is saying, woohoo, miracles, we got it. We're on it. We're going to help you get it. Do not play small, play infinite, and go as big as your brain can go. I'm getting a dragon. You guys have a great night. I love you all. Brightest blessings, and I will see you soon. Take care.